Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to come here to talk about a topic that has been puzzling us for centuries. The topic centers around an elusive entity that appears to have no shape, no texture, to be really nothing. But it's actually the source of everything that we know and experience. I'm talking about the human mind. Despite having the most intelligent mind of all species, we still don't fully understand our own mind yet. Several questions remain, such as what is it exactly, and what gives rise to it. So in the next 15 minutes, I will demonstrate to you why the human mind is one of the most complex entities in the universe, and how far we've come in studying it scientifically. So let's start with a simple task. May I ask everyone to raise your hand, please? Thank you, I can see your hands. Now turn to your next person and say hello. That's great, thank you. So most of what we have known about the human mind is just assumptions. I assume that you have a mind because you seem to understood me and responded by smiling and shaking hands. But how can I be so certain? I cannot see it, I cannot smell or touch your minds. In fact, I can't be so certain of my own mind as well. I have never seen it or touched it before. Now, I also assume that you have a mind because of the behavior your body shows. I assume there's a link between the mind and the behavior, actions produced by our physical bodies. But where exactly is this intersection? How does a non-physical, metaphysical entity such as the mind link with the physical bodies? Now, philosophers like René Descartes pondered these questions about the mind-body relationship long time ago. Today, we often associate the mind with images of the brain, but they're not the same. The mind appears almost like nothing. Yet, its nothingness constitutes everything that we sense and experience. Its nothingness is everything to us. It's the sum of all internal processes that we have, like thinking, feeling, perceiving, learning, that help us to navigate the external world. So this is the very first reason why the human mind is very challenging to be studied. We cannot grasp it with or by anything. We cannot grasp it by hands, by eyes, or any other available tools. Because it's nothing, it's metaphysical. Secondly, all the internal processes that the mind performs can be conscious or subconscious, making it even more complex. Consciousness is one layer of the mind that helps us to stay alert, attend, and aware of our experiences. Like you're sitting here and experiencing my talk consciously. But the mind also comprises of subconsciousness, automatic processes that we are not always aware of, like when your mind starts to wander without you realizing it. So as a psychologist, I have to rely on behavioral observation or self-report to infer what's going on inside and study the human mind. Just like when I asked you to raise your hands, I observed you and inferred what might have been on your mind. If I run a survey and ask you to report what you were thinking or feeling when shaking hands. These methods are very useful, but they still cannot paint the whole picture. Why? Because behaviors don't always reflect what's truly happening inside. And there are many subconscious processes that we are not always aware of to be able to fully report them. As you can see, only glimpses of the mind can be studied. Now, what about studying the brain? Let's rewind a bit. I mentioned that the mind looks almost like nothing, right? Because now we know something physical about it. A physical switch to turn the mind on and off has been found. In the 1940s, two scientists here Marosi and Magun, experimented with cat's brain to see how different regions of the brain affected sleep and wakefulness, two different levels of consciousness. When they electrically, using technologies, electrically stimulated the black area there, that's the cat's brain, and that area is called reticular formation. It's located inside the brainstem that connects the brain with the spinal cord. Something amazing happened. It woke up the sleeping cats, even though they were in very, very deep sleep. Now, they also tried the opposite by cutting this particular brain area in another group of cats without disrupting any sensory nerves. As a result, the cats went straight into coma. Now, human patients suffering from damages in this brain area, which is the red part that you see here in the human brain, also confirmed this. They often experience drastic changes in their consciousness and turning off their minds. The reticular formation is now believed to be a gatekeeper, allowing bodily sensation to reach conscious awareness. So before Marosi and Magun's work, most of what we have known about the conscious mind was just based on philosophical and abstract concepts. But I think it's partly because that we only started to have technological advancement more recently to help with research. Right? But thanks to this groundbreaking study, we now move the field from speculative ideas to more concrete, measurable neuroscientific evidence to talk about the human mind. Right? So from this neuroscientific perspective, I believe that, well, nothing might be everything, but I don't think that it's enough. We need something for that nothing to become everything. We need the brain for the mind to work, right, obviously. But we still need to keep in mind that brain and mind are not the same. Studying brains can help us understand the physical structure and functions, but it's still not a direct window into someone's mind. Brain scans shows where and when neuroactivity occur, but they cannot read what someone's thinking or feeling in full comprehension. It lacks the subjectivity of the human mind. Brain scans are not mind scans. Yeah? And so next, I also wonder if the physical matters in the brain are so necessary for the mind. Do they have to be biological? Can a digital brain give rise to a virtual mind and bring life to it, just like a biological brain does? Now, 11 years ago, in 2013, a mega project funded by the European Union called the Human Brain Project was started, aiming to simulate and replicate the human brain using supercomputers. Every kind of brain cell was created digitally. Neuroscientists and computer scientists collected molecular, cellular, and behavioral data from real human brains and used that to feed and train the digital brain model. Now, the project was completed just last year, costing more than 600 million euros and resulting in one of the most accurate human brain ever produced. We are now many, many steps getting closer to understanding the human brain. But with such massive effort, the mystery of the human mind still hasn't been solved. The digital mind can certainly stimulate, think, and respond, but it lacks feelings. It lacks subjective experience. It cannot feel love, anger, hate, or any other emotions. Even with an exact replica of the human brain, it cannot stimulate an exact replica of the human mind. Why? What's still missing in the digital mind? Something is clearly critical here. Something about the organic, biological substrate that produces this emergence of the human mind. With that question, I then look at what we have as humans, but the computers don't. Not only the brain, we have what? Our bodies with sensations. We have social interactions. We have cultures. That's when I realize and I believe firmly that the human brain is also a product of these matters too. The mind does not only need the brain, but it also need our bodies, it also need our surrounding, also need cultural heritage for it to be shaped, developed, and bring you that sense of life, that sense of existence. These elements are just as essentials. Without them, there will be no integration, no subjectivity, no individuality. The human mind is a phenomenon that is embedded in this interconnectedness of the brain, the body, and the social context of human. This makes the human mind an intricate and mysterious enigma. So, to conclude, no single approach can fully explain the human mind. Each discipline has a piece of the puzzle of this mysterious dark entity. Philosophers have a flashlight to illuminate it. Psychologists have a limited map explaining different connections and patterns. Neuroscientists try to examine the physical functions and structure, while computer scientists try to stimulate and replicate the digital mind. Yet no one can grasp it entirely. This interdisciplinary effort has begun so long time ago, and we have reached so far, but we still have a long journey to continue. With rapid advancement of technologies and the collective power of brilliant minds, your minds of the young generation, I believe that we will someday understand this fundamental essence that makes us who we are. We will embrace this mystery, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep collaborating across discipline to bring more light into the dark. Thank you very much.